Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to my channel. Welcome to Lilith Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Adama, and I'm here to talk to you today about Sagittarius rising and what a Sagittarius rising or ascendant means in astrology. Before we get into the details, though, I want to remind you, please subscribe below. Your support definitely helps keep everything going. And don't forget to click the bell so that you can get alerts for when my next videos go live. And that is very important to do as well too. Like, comment with your experience as a Sagittarius rising, and don't forget to subscribe. Check out lilithastrology.com memberships, all in the links below. And now you can ask me a question on heyhero.com for $44. So if you have a quick astrology question, need specific answers, I'm your gal, and you can click that link below. And if you love my messages and you want to support Lilith Astrology, donate below. So let's get into the video. So Sagittarius rising. So let's back up first and talk about the rising sign or ascendant, what that means in astrology, and also a little bit on the sign Sagittarius itself. So the rising sign is also called the ascendant, and it is the sign that was on the eastern horizon when you were born. So this is your personality. When you first show up into a room and when you first meet someone, that is the personality that others see. So if you are a Sagittarius ascendant, you come off like a Sagittarius to people who don't know you too well. And our rising sign is really the lens on how we see the world, how we interact with the world, and our outer reality. This can explain some of your outer reality when you were a child, and that is what primed you into that instinctual way that you react and interact with people that you don't know too well. And the ascendant is also the first angle. So this is our first house angle in astrology, and it is an extremely sensitive point in astrology. So when you have a planet going over your ascendant or on your ascendant, and this can, definitely show changes in your personality, certain things happening to you, and just how the energies are going to affect you personally. So that's why I always say it's really important to watch your rising sign horoscope in addition to your sun and your moon, because that is really going to give you even more of key insight into what is going on for you. So let's go into the sign Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of luck, expansion, growth, optimism. Jupiter also represents wisdom, spirituality, higher education, higher learning. And Jupiter in Sagittarius, which is actually a transit that we all experienced prior to December 2019, prior to Jupiter moving into Capricorn, which is where it's at as I'm filming this now. It's going to move into Aquarius in December, but we did experience Jupiter in Sagittarius, and this really is a lucky placement because Jupiter is in its home sign, and that luck and that optimism can really express itself depending on your chart. But having a Sagittarius ascendant means that Jupiter rules your chart. So Jupiter, and you want to take a look at Jupiter in your chart. What sign Jupiter is in, what house Jupiter is in, what planets are making aspects to that Jupiter. But you're going to want to take a close look at that, because that is a key planet representing you in your chart. And as a Sagittarius, this is a mutable fire sign. And a mutable sign is more changeable, more adaptable, can change their mind, can be more fluid in situations. They are not as fixed in their opinion. And fire wants to go, wants to burn, has tons of energy. And so Sagittarius, just like its ruling planet Jupiter, wants to expand and grow. And that's why, Sagittarius gets the Gypsy World Traveler persona, because they really experience life through their experiences and what is in their outer reality. They want to expand, they want to grow, they want to experience all different cultures and all that life has to offer. So when you have Sagittarius on your rising, this is how you are. And you have that fiery drive to travel, to experience new people, to experience new cultures, experience new things. You could really be interested in academics or teaching others or sharing your wisdom to the world. You could be really interested in just learning and learning more about philosophy, learning more about different ways of living and life. So Jupiter really, that is really a key part of Sagittarius energy. So understanding your Jupiter can give you more insight to you. And so you have that fire right in your first house of identity and self. And so Sagittarius energy and risings can come off friendly. They can come off optimistic. They tend to shoot from the hip and say their truth and say what they exactly think. But generally, they are a lighter and more energetic, fiery ascendant. So moving on to your second house of earned income and money, you have Capricorn there. And Capricorn means in your second house of money or income that you guys understand how to build a stable foundation with your money, with your finances. You tend to be fairly lucky when it comes to building those things. When you have Capricorn in your second house, you are able to create material wealth and breed power from that. It depends also, because don't forget that I'm not looking at the way that planets are placed in your chart. So this is a general reading for Sag risings, but with Capricorn in your second house, you really can lay a stable foundation when it comes to your income and when it comes to your finances. You also take a more grounded approach and you can organize and analyze a lot easier than some other rising signs. So in your third house of communication, you have Aquarius. And when you have Aquarius in your third house, essentially the way that you communicate with others is different, is more blunt, is more direct. You tend to want to spread your message to a larger collective and a larger group of people. A lot of Sagittarius risings can naturally do things like social media or community organizing, community building. They're able to rally and get groups of people together through their speech or through their beliefs or through their voice. So especially if you are Sagittarius rising and you have strong placements in your third house of Aquarius and your third house of communication in the sign of Aquarius, that can be a huge strength to you. So you are the first person to be like power to the people, and be this huge humanitarian campaigning for certain people's rights and their freedoms. So that definitely can come naturally for you. Moving on to your fourth house, you have Pisces. So when you have your fourth house in Pisces, there can be a strong connection to family, whether it's positive or challenging, a deep emotional connection. Sag risings can come off not as emotional and, a little fiery and can kind of mouth off, but they still have Pisces in their fourth house of their emotional world, can represent the father, depending on your chart. Sometimes the mother. It's really the parental dynamic. It's your lineage. It's your heritage. It's your emotions. It's your inner world. It's a private space. So not everyone's going to see that Pisces energy right up front. It's really in your emotions. So even though Sagittarius comes off a certain kind of way, they can be an extremely emotional and empathic sign. And that is something that, especially if you have the moon here, or say you're a Pisces sun, you really have that emotional depth that others don't see. And when you get to your fifth house, the fifth house rules creativity, self-expression, children, how you work through your creative projects, your creative process, gambling, fun, how you have fun. We all know Sag rising, you love to have fun. And in this house, you have Aries. So in general, this is a fellow fire sign. Sages know how to have fun. That's why Sag gets that party girl, you know. I have a Venus in Sag, so trust me, I love a good time. But that's where that persona comes from, because you have Aries in your 5th house of fun and self-expression. I think Sagittarius, when they have children, Sag rising, they love to be active with their children. They may have active children. They like to do physical activities to bond with them, and that's their love language, that's their romance language. So they're not the type to want to, depending on where your Venus is at, but they're not the type to want to just sit around when they're dating. They love to like go out and have adventures and do things. And they are very driven creatively. If you have something like Mars in the 5th house, or you are an Aries sun in the 5th house, this can make for intense creativity and someone who is a leader. So you can definitely lead a project, lead your children, lead that area of your life. So moving on to the 6th house, you have Taurus. And Taurus is a fixed earth sign. And the 6th house is all about work, duty, daily routine, your daily work, the things that you need to do to kind of just run your life, like running errands, doing laundry, getting your emails out, organizing your paperwork, organizing your desk. This is a very mundane type of house, but for you, you have Taurus here. So not only do you need more structure to your day, you like to do it your own way, and it can be a very lucrative area of your life, depending on how you have placements here. Taurus represents worth, value. Taurus also represents abundance. And in the 6th house and in your work or in your health, those are all important aspects to you, and you definitely can develop, even if it may not be a routine like other people, your routine works for you. And you also can be driven to take care of yourself, practice self-care, work out, and you could also make a living from 6th house type of professions. So professions in terms of helping others, being of service to others, taking care of others, or even, you know, making money in service to others. So definitely really interesting area of your life. And as we move to your relationships, so this is your 7th house, which is also known as the descendant. So this is in opposition to your rising sign or your ascendant. And so this is why Gemini is called a partner sign to Sagittarius, because it is your opposite sign. And so having Gemini here, this is the sign of communication, social. You love to you know, be social with everyone. You love short distance travel. You love to be busy. You love to speak. You really need logical communication in that partnership. And the 7th house is not just love partnerships, but it can be business as well too. So when you have Gemini here, a lot of you really, your love language is speech. And you really need to and want to communicate with your partner. You need to be stimulated mentally to really want this partner, or to really see them in your life long term. They need to stimulate your mind as well. And this goes the same for professions, especially if you have the sun here or moon, Venus, Mercury. You really could work in a communication profession and form business partnerships in that area of your life. So causes that communicate out things to other people. You could speak for a living. Professor, that's the sign. Sagittarius is the sign of the professor. So someone that shares their wisdom with others. So communication is a huge thing in terms of your relationships and your close relationships. So as we move on, the 8th house, you have Cancer here. So the 8th house rules sex, transformation, our personal power, how we receive money from other people, finances, investments. Death is also here, the occult, practices like witchcraft or astrology, when you have Cancer here, your personal power and your ability to transform comes through honoring your emotions. Cancer is such an emotional sign. It is a maternal water sign. And so when you have a certain sign in the 8th house, that can be a place of personal power, where you own your power and what can strengthen you as an individual in your life. And, Sag rising is not known to be the most overtly emotional. They are a fire energy and they are go, 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 go. But Cancer is more of the empath, maternal, emotional water sign. And with that in your 8th house, if you tap into your emotions, just like how you have Pisces in the 4th house, if you learn to tap into that and see that as a quality that can help push you forward, you truly can feel more empowered to do things. And improvements just on your life and in interacting with other people is honoring that emotion, and sharing some of that maternal vibe with other people can truly help you. Cancer energy can also be a nice place for you, definitely in terms of what you find sexually attractive, someone who has those maternal qualities or has that Cancerian energy can definitely be an area for you. And you definitely nurture your finances. You nurture your material worth, especially with Capricorn in the area of your money. And then you have Cancer in the area of your finances. That axis, that polarity is, you can be the concrete, nurturing money maker, but also care about other people's emotions, care about other people's their ideas and what they have to bring to the table. So Sagittarius, definitely in terms of owning your leadership, owning more of those Cancerian qualities can definitely be helpful in your personal power, because the 8th house, it's about power. And whatever sign is in that 8th house really can help you own your power. But as a result, also, it takes a little extra effort to grab a hold onto that energy and truly embrace it. So now moving on to your 9th house of higher learning, wisdom, and expansion. We have Leo. So this is why Sag risings, you all love to travel. And of course, it depends on the whole chart. But when you have Leo in your 9th house of higher learning, expansion, travel, foreign places, foreign things, foreign topics, college, just expanding your knowledge, that is all extremely fun for you. That is how you play. Leo is the child. Leo is creativity. Leo is self-expression. So you feel like you can be yourself when you're not in a familiar environment, when you're not in your home environment. It truly feeds your soul, and really you can let loose and have fun when you're exploring the world. So right now, of course, when I'm filming this video, we're all a little locked down, but definitely this is something I'm sure you're going to get back to in the future. And this is where you can shine and, where you can really feel fulfilled. So in your 10th house of career, Sag rising, you have Virgo. So even though you have Jupiter ruling your chart, Mercury rules your career. So a lot of you can really be great speakers. A lot of you can really articulate yourself in your career, articulate yourself publicly. Depending on your chart, if you have Sun in Virgo in the 10th house, or Moon, or Mars, you could have a career in something like law or accounting, or something administrative, where you are able to analyze, organize, and articulate. And you can also be someone like an editor, or you could be someone who fixes and is taking an idea and making it even better. So that is where the Virgo energy gets amplified in your chart, is in your life path. The 10th house is the house of career. This is the house of, this is where your midheaven is. So this is the angle that represents where you see yourself once you fully grab a hold on what you were meant to do in this lifetime. This is what how the public sees you, your public image, and how other people see you in terms of your professional life. So definitely a lot of Virgo energy when it comes to your career. So in your 11th house of groups, friends, social media, your network, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, the collective, you have Libra. So you are all social. When you have an air sign like Libra in your house of friendships and your network, this is where Sagittarius gets the rap for really spreading out their contacts and who they know. And they really want to bring peace and harmony to a lot of people. They like to have harmonious connections. They like to have harmonious relations, people that they know. They love social media, especially if you have Sun in Libra in the 10th house, or Moon or Mars in the 11th house. You could be really good. Excuse me, I said 10th house, but 11th house. You could be excellent at social media. You could really be excellent at bringing groups of people together, event planning, planning parties on your own. This can also be a place of visual creativity. So you definitely love to have a lot of people around you, and you love to have a lot of peaceful and harmonious connections and a lot of people in your network. And this also can benefit you in so many ways. And this is why you're such a Jupiterian energy, is because you know that there is always a way, and someone will help you or someone will assist you. And with a network like that, with Libra in that area of your life, that definitely is true for you. So the last and final house, we have the 12th house, which is the most hidden part of the chart. And in your 12th house, you have Scorpio. So in terms of the rising sign, and in terms of the energy that people see the Sag, it's right there. But whatever sign is in the 12th house, and this goes for all rising signs, but whatever sign is in the 12th house, that is hidden from the world and in your subconscious. And in this lifetime, that is a goal to tap into. That is a hidden healing to tap into. And when you have Scorpio here, that intensity, Scorpio rules death, transformation, regeneration, rebirth, intuition, emotion, power, the occult, mysticism. It's a very deep sign. And so you may come off light and bubbly, but deep down, like all of your emotional power hidden houses are all in water signs. So deep down, you have that intense scorpionic nature hidden, and tapping into that sometimes and harnessing that, especially if you have placements here in the 12th house like the Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, looking at certain challenges in your life and how you can apply some of that knowledge to it. So for example, Sag rising is known as being an eternal optimist. But if you have the Sun there, that means you do have, even if you don't have planetary placements there, you do have that incredible depth. So being vulnerable and letting people into that depth can be extremely healing for you. And talking about those intense topics may feel uncomfortable at first, but it can definitely help bring out that deep intuition that you naturally have. You know, Sag risings are ruled by Jupiter, but when you tap into that hidden private power in your subconscious mind of Scorpio and start to really do some shadow work, see what's kind of lurking back there, and release some of that intensity, you definitely can feel more fulfilled, and you can feel like you can move forward and be your optimistic Sag self. So that's an interesting energy, and definitely for you, Scorpio energy can give you the tools that you need to go through change, to go through transformation. And Scorpios tend to be more on the realist side, so that also is another hidden attribute, is that realism. But you know, it serves you well, right, Sagittarius? Like, sometimes being too real can block certain manifestations. So with that natural optimism, you have more of a natural ability to manifest and to make things happen. So that is you, Sagittarius rising. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helps. Don't forget, subscribe. And if you love Lilith astrology, check us out in the links below. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.